Hi, my name is Taylor Ray, and I am an IGP student studying physics and German. I spent the last year at the University of TU Dortmund, and while there I worked in one of their experimental physics labs. This lab was a quantum optics lab, which means we looked at the smallest scale and we used light to investigate this scale. We were specifically looking at this material called perovskite because it is a possible candidate to be combined with silicon to make better, more effective solar cells. Now, there are many ways to combat climate change, but one of the most widely developed and most widely implemented is renewable energy. However, our current technology using silicon for solar cells is at its theoretical limits, and changes need to be made if we want to widen the scale and get solar energy implemented around the world. So one solution that is being looked at is known as tandem solar cells, which means we are combining silicon with another material that can help improve its efficiency. And by efficiency, I mean how much light from the sun and how much energy from the sun it can convert into energy that we can actually use. So perovskite is a crystal that, when combined with silicon, can possibly improve the effectiveness of solar cells. However, this is a very new idea, so perovskite still needs to be investigated and better understood before we do this kind of work to create these solar cells. So the lab that I worked in used techniques known as coherent spectroscopy to investigate perovskite, and we specifically used a technique known as photon echo. Now, if you want to know more about photon echo and how we used it to look at perovskite, you can come down to my summit poster investigating the properties of perovskite semiconductors using coherent spectroscopy and photon echo. Thank you.